lot of our recent outdoor plans have been paused by the weather here in the Philippines. We had back-to-back typhoons and severe thunderstorms over the last 3 months. Actually, this part of the year is called rainy season. Since my arrival here in the Philippines in 2022, 2026 has been the only true rainy season I've experienced since I've been here. With all that said, this has prevented us from shooting outdoors on location, but has given us a chance to slow down, look back, and share the images and cinematic moments that we're most proud of for the first half of 2026. This is more than a highlight reel. In fact, it's not a highlight reel. It's a look back at how one simple goal, creating a strong portrait, changes from when you move from a studio to a beach, from a city street to a sunset, and from natural light to off-camera flash. As you watch, please let us know which locations, which portraits that your favorite. And stay with us to the end, because we would love to hear what you want us to shoot next. That is, when the weather starts cooperating again. With all that said, we're starting here in the studio where the goal is control. In the studio, nothing is accidental. The pose matters, the direction of light matters, the wardrobe, the background, the distance from the camera, even the negative space around the subject all help shape the final image. These fashion portraits with Tanya, Kirill, Jam, Cess, and Michaela were made with the Sony 50mm 1.2. A 50mm lens can feel close and natural. It gives us an intimate perspective while still giving the model enough space to own the frame. What we love about the studio work is that we can ask a simple question. If you remove the distractions, what's left? The answer should be expression, shape, confidence, and light. One of these frames used an AI-generated background. But even with a different background, the portrait would still have to work. First, the lighting has to feel right, the pose has to feel right, and the person in the frame has to carry the image. So take a second look closely at these studio images. Which ones do you think has the AI-generated background? From the control world of the studio, we head to Palawan. Here, the location becomes a part of the portrait, the horizon, the sand, the wind, the water, and the changing skies all bring their own personality to the frame. Mimi's beach portraits in Arayat were made with natural light, and the Sigma 105mm f1.4, their longer lens, helped separate the model from the background so the scene stayed soft and spacious while the subject remains clear and present. Arayat is an island and municipality of the northwest portion of Palawan, and the coastline gives you a clean visual language, open water, pale sand, weather, and horizon. When the location is strong, our job is not to fight it, but to use it with intention. At Eco Camp Beach, Jam's set moved from natural light to an off-camera flash sunset look. For the wider sunset frame, we used the Tamron 17-28mm f2.8. That wider view allows the sky and the location to become a part of the story instead of simply sitting in the background. There's a big difference between choosing a lens to isolate a person and choosing a lens to include the world around them. Both can make a beautiful portrait while they tell different stories. If you're learning photography for the first time, watch for that shift that you'll see here. Longer lenses are for separation, wider lenses are for environment. Now we move into the Clark and Angeles City area, where an urban off-camera flash approach gives the portrait a different kind of energy. The city introduces lines, textures, and a little bit more edge. For Janica's portraits, flash helps us keep the subject confident and clear inside of the environment. The goal was to never overpower the location. The goal was to give the model a strong place within it. When you're shooting in a busy environment, a little intentional light can help the eye know exactly where to look. For Cess, we worked on location near Mount Arayat with off-camera flash and the Sigma 105. Mount Arayat is one of the Pampanga's most recognizable landmarks. It is a dormant, volcanic mountain and protected landscape. This is a reminder that a great location doesn't need to be huge or complicated. You don't always need a big production. You need deliberate framing, good light, and a reason for every choice. Subic Bay gave us some of the most cinematic footage, whether it's video or photos, for this year. Water, sunset, open space, and just enough flash to keep the subject present as the ambient light begins to fade away. This area was once the site of a U.S. naval facility and became a free port in the early 1990s. Today, it gives photographers a layered environment where the coastline and history of this place sit side by side. Iris sunset and open water portrait use the Sigma 105. The on-location flash setup used by the Sony 50mm f1.2. At sunset, we're always watching the ambient light. We let the scene set the mood first. Then, when needed, we use flash sparingly to keep the subject from disappearing into the background. Which look do you prefer? The clean open water portrait or the more intimate on-location flash portraits? Looking across all these shoots, the common thread is not one lens, one location, or one kind of light. The common thread is intention. In the studio, we shape the world around the subject. On the beach, we work with the horizon and the weather. In the city and on location, flash helped us build separation and mood. And at sunset, the scene itself did half the storytelling. The Sony 50mm gave us a natural, close perspective. The Sigma 105 gave us more compression and background separation. And the Tamron 17-28 2.8 opened the frame when the location needed to speak. But the gear is only part of the story. The real work is paying attention to the light, to expression, to the location, and to the feeling that you want someone to have when they see the final frame. We're grateful for every model, every location, and everyone who has followed the work so far this year. The weather is changing our shooting schedule, but it did not stop the ideas. As soon as the conditions allow, we'll be back outside creating the next chapter. Until then, leave a comment with your favorite portrait, your favorite location from this recap, and tell us what you want to see us shoot next. Thank you for watching. We'll see you again on the next one. Is that rain gonna be a problem?